We're about to shoot a shot.
Oh my God! You're alive!
Welcome to another exciting episode of Gripping Golf Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Daniels. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, with me is the Dave Miller. How are you, Dave?
What up? I'm great. Thanks for asking.
I always want to ask.
Yeah.
Joining us, making his not inaugural appearance, but an appearance. Sometimes he shows up, sometimes he doesn't. We just don't know.
He's an enigma.
Yeah.
First of 23.
First of 23.
It's Peter the Hog Hansen. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's
Yeah.
everybody?
You look fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you look like you've been working on a Cadillac.
I have been working on a Cadillac.
You have.
I did.
So did you have to cut the beard short so it didn't get caught in the clips?
No. Had a minor shaving mishap. Went the wrong way with the guard and took it way short. And so the only way to fix it was to take it off.
Whoops.
You had
Beard divot.
and then
There was
John.
some tears cried on Wednesday night when it happened.
Well, it always happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you okay?
You
okay
it'll
for
grow
today?
back. It'll
Okay.
grow back.
Yeah, I can't do that. If I make
I
a
know.
mishap, it's gone forever.
It's gone for another year.
Maybe we should reach out to some sponsors for some facial hair
Maybe.
growth.
Rogaine.
Yes.
Maybe it's a low T.
Help Billy.
I know a guy that can help you with that low T.
Thanks. This is all I can do right here. Can't even hear anything. Look at that.
Nope,
Can't even hear
nothing
anything
there,
on the
nothing there.
microphones. Yeah, it's like smooth as a baby's butt.
In a
Wow.
way, you're lucky.
Dr.
In a
Dre is
way.
probably happy.
It's just, yeah, in some degree. Yeah. And then joining last, but certainly not least, is JJ John Johnson. How are you?
Fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Living the dream?
I'm doing what I
How's
can.
the data crunching? How's the
It's
coding?
slowed.
It's slowed.
Yeah. It was an incredible investment. And the return is, we're working on it.
ROI wasn't what you expected.
ROI.
That's unfortunate.
It's going to
That's
get there.
okay.
It's going to get there. Well, on today's episode, we're going to talk about the year of 2022 and review here of the PGA Tour. Not just the PGA Tour, just professional golf in general. And so it's been an incredible year, I would say. Probably one of the most disruptive years in terms of golf in our lifetime, I would say.
Absolutely.
In our generation, you go back further into, I know I wasn't born in 1943, but 1943 was the last time there were no majors held. Not
Really?
saying that there
I
weren't
wonder why.
in 2022. Yeah. I don't know. Do you know of any significant events, Dave, that happened in 1943?
No.
Okay,
No,
I'll
yeah.
fill the
Not one.
viewers and listeners in. It was World War II. Yes.
Oh, that
yeah.
one.
My bad.
Yes. Yeah.
My
So
bad.
we're getting historical today. And then 2020 saw the three majors push back to the last half of the year. So, but nothing really was delayed that I can think of, but it just in terms of disruptive golf and just probably just golf in general being in the news was one of the most incredible things. So I know personally for me, and Pete was kind of mentioning this too, it kind of ruined golf for me a little bit.
Yeah.
It was too much mainstream attention in my opinion. And we didn't, I stopped watching golf altogether.
I watched the majors up through July, but after that, and I didn't watch the Tour Championship
Yeah.
or
I
anything
didn't
like
either.
that.
I went to the PGA Championship, but that was it.
Yeah, it
So.
definitely diluted golf in general.
Why do you think, I'm just curious. We're kind of going off script here, but why do you feel that way? I would be curious. I have my feelings, but why did you feel that way, Pete?
Well, okay, so I watched the first live event. What was that? May? Was that June last year? I don't know what
I think it was
I think it was
June.
June, yeah.
Yeah. It was
And-
right before we went to Bandon,
Yeah, and first off, it
which it was in Portland. The first event was
that's
in
right. It was the
Portland.
week before
Yeah.
we left.
At Pumpkin Ridge.
And the golf was okay. I couldn't really wrap my brain around watching the 18-hole shotgun format
Right.
and seeing how it compares against all the other players, right? And then just honestly how they had scoring going on and that freaking dinging.
Bling.
It was awful. I didn't want to watch it just for that reason because it was not something that I was used to.
He must blink a lot. 'cause they
Well,
often say
I was
don't blink.
working.
Yeah.
I had it up on the other screen and the computer. I'm like, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So,
Is my text message just going
madness.
off? What's happening here?
so once I watched that, I was like, well, I don't really care to watch many others because I just didn't care for the presentation format.
Right.
And then there are a lot of tournaments that you just didn't have really big names on the PGA going to some of the – first, it's the fall swing.
Right.
You don't have a ton of high-profile events.
Right.
So you're already down on superstars. Then most of the superstars left and went to live. You're kind of left with nobody.
And I want to correct. I said the first event was in Portland. It was not. It was in London.
It was in
London.
You're right.
And the whole debacle of the taxis taking the players out to the first holes and people refusing to get into the taxis because they wanted to stay warm and walk out to the holes, and it was crazy. And that was June 9th of 2022.
I was going to say, wasn't it like the week before the Open?
Yes. Yeah. And then the second event would have been in Portland.
Yeah.
At Pumpkin Ridge, or near, not
week
Portland.
of the 4th of July.
It
was before. It was right
It's in
before we went to
Hillsborough.
Bandon, which we went the 13th of July. So
it was the weekend before.
Yeah.
So
craziness. Yeah.
So that's my thought. That's why I really just disengaged from golf on TV. I don't know if Dave or John.
Yeah. What do you guys feel?
Well, I have stated before on the podcast that I don't watch a lot of golf on TV because I tend to fall asleep when I do. When I
It
do.
does that.
And it's not
You
because
two-
it's not
watching-
exciting. It's just because, sitting on the couch watching a golf broadcast, I'm going to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Soothing voices.
Yeah, exactly. You hear Jim Nance just, talking over
friends.
birds chirping or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you have to tune out Faldo somehow, right? And so sleep is the option. But he's gone now, right?
Yeah,
So,
he's retired.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. All
Yeah.
the disruption and just the new, or what are they called? Commentators.
Commentators.
Thank you.
And there's
Yeah.
been a lot of change in that
Yeah.
realm too.
Yeah.
and at NBC, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was even, it happened with Liv. Several went there, but then even at the end of the year, they're like, we're just not going to renew your contracts. Like, I really like Maltby on CBS.
Yeah.
He's no longer a part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, are you finished?
Well, no, I was just
keep
gonna
going.
say, but to Pete's point, to me, I just got tired of reading every story about, who's going to live, who's not going to live, and it's whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think it impacted my enjoyment of when I do watch golf on TV, seeing those guys do crazy stuff. I never did watch a live broadcast just because I'm not.
You didn't miss
on
much.
You didn't miss.
that
Yeah.
often.
Didn't miss.
But, as somebody that doesn't consume golf on TV as much, I don't know that it affected my viewing of it, but the news stories just got tiresome. It's like,
Yeah.
I just want to hear about what's the new equipment coming out. At this point. I don't care who's playing for
What can I
league.
buy?
Right.
Yeah.
What about you, John? I know you watch, not only do you watch a lot of golf just because it's something on in the background, but, you DVR.
Yeah, I record
Quite a
all
bit.
golf.
Yeah.
Like all of it.
You had to buy
That doesn't mean I
extra
watch it.
storage to.
Yeah.
Learn something new about you.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't know that.
YouTube TV, I just record everything.
Yeah. That's
But,
true. I do too. You got YouTube TV?
Yeah.
So do I. Oh my gosh. You
guys are
I wanna
best
hang
If I
out.
hadn't known, you could have shared your sign on with me and I wouldn't have to pay for it.
Dag's
Did we
got
just
it.
become best friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is this?
Well, what am I going to get out of the deal? I can't just
My
pay
friendship. It's the
for your.
don't make me
It's
do the
invaluable.
joke. Don't make me do the ship joke. I love you. Rest in peace, Norm. But yeah, I still watch a lot of golf, but it is in the background when I'm working. And I did watch a couple live things, and it was like madness. But there is something to a tournament just lasting 4 hours.
Yeah.
I will give them credit.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I still think it's kind of a mess.
Yeah.
But
The first one specifically was a
For
true
sure.
mess.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
It got better as the year went on in terms of their broadcast, but
Yeah.
and there is something to a shorter condensed event in my opinion, but it was also just like it was almost too much because it was like into
Boom,
this hole,
boom,
into this
boom,
hole, into
boom.
this hole, into this hole, and I would agree the scoreboard was distracting at times. Like you didn't know it was always there, and I couldn't figure. I'm sure there was a way that you could probably do something to turn it off, but I don't think you could. I think it was within the feed.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
it
so
was, yeah.
that was I found that frustrating because it would be nice if it would go away
Yeah.
and then come back every now and then. And then I think the first couple events it was really hard to figure out what the heck was going on with the team event.
Yeah.
And then who the heck was on each team was
Yeah.
also the other thing that was really hard. It's still exciting. Like
They're franchises, not just teams.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
and we'll get into this, but like we were just reading an article about that where they're adopting the franchises and the teams are going to have to start covering costs
Oh.
for their. I'm assuming
Well, they
like,
got to go out and get sponsors.
sponsors
and,
and stuff like
Wait,
that.
all
which-
the teams that exist within Live. So
Yeah.
so
Yes.
is it a team for this season now, or is it a team for the event?
It's
I think it's for a season.
It's going to be kind of
Yeah.
like
I don't
Formula
really know.
One. I think,
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
like a
That's
McLaren
kind of the
season.
idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
That
But-
makes sense. Interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe that'll appeal to sponsors rather than, just supporting one individual. You're supporting a team, and maybe you get one player out there that was on the bottom rung, and all of a sudden they start playing really well, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. They got to work on something because their streams only get like 80,000 views.
I know.
I'm looking at this going like, I want to hide that.
So
Yeah.
here's my idea.
yeah.
Make it like common man golf. 144 golfers out on 18 holes, shotgun
Hey,
start.
man, I love
Go
it.
for
Hey,
it.
if I get to be part of a franchise
Yeah.
and a team that gets like sponsorships, sure, I'll be on there. I'll go to live.
Send them out in their
Yeah.
foursomes.
Uh-huh. That would
I think
be
Play
awesome.
best ball. See what happens.
So it does.
is beer included in the round fee? Or
We'll
is
get a
that
sponsorship.
gonna-
for
Ask
beer.
Greg Norman.
Milwaukee's best.
Yeah, it's, the
Better be
beast.
listening.
I won't
Yeah.
hate.
So this kind of is interesting. We put it on like a year in review, and we were kind of before the episode talking about like it sucked, but now it kind of seems like we're the 2022 wasn't great, but now it kind of seems like we're kind of
Well,
interested to see where it goes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
think-
interested to see that it doesn't
Go away, or
just fall out of the sky and
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't know the
It's
franchise.
never
thing.
going to. It's
Yeah.
never
It
going
can't-
to as long as the money is behind it.
Oh yeah,
but
They'll
that's the
make it
question.
work.
You're right. Saudi private investment fund has
bankrolled.
close to $1 trillion, right? And that's not news. They've had that forever. But they also, at some point, are not a charitable foundation that is willing to give away money. I mean,
Right.
yes, $1 billion compared to $684 billion they have in there is less than 1%. But they look to make money,
Yeah,
and at some point, if that's not
they?
going to be, they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. They have
They're-
In some degree,
they've got
some way.
money coming in
They
from
have-
other sources.
they have the ability to ram a square peg into a round hole.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly my point.
And that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And-
They
yeah,
just
but
bought a
it's
giant hammer.
and
yeah,
then
and
at
they
some
they
point-
bought Newcastle Football Club.
Yeah, I know.
And they're pouring a ton of money into it. They're not going to get that money back
right.
per se.
Right away, at least. I mean,
Right.
eventually, probably.
Maybe.
It's
Yeah.
like putting a $200,000 gym in your basement.
Right.
Not gonna up resell, but you can do it if you got the money.
Or giving you my login to YouTube TV.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
never going to get that money back.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
are.
But
You
you're
get
gonna
it
get
back in his friendship.
Friendship.
Anyway,
Most valuable
$64
ship
a
in the
month. Friendship.
you were going to say something, John, and I cut you off. So please.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
All right.
We've moved on. I mean, we'll go. Let's move on. So kind of to your point of moving into something else. Looking back, is Phil Mickelson's. I mean, his the lack of not reception, but perception.
Everybody
I guess.
hates Phil now.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
hated Phil or
He
hates
was like
Phil
the most liked guy, and now he's
Yeah.
the most hated.
for saying 124 words.
And he would have been fine if he just said, "I'm in it for the money."
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
that's-
People
yeah.
would. There have been people that wouldn't have liked him,
Yeah.
but to try to play both sides and then come out on top and keep your reputation intact. Sorry, man, that's not how it works.
Yeah,
That's why
honest.
people don't hate Pat Perez, because he came out
Exactly.
and said, "I'm in
Yeah.
it for the money."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he
Pat's
wore,
like,
he
"I'm
wore
looking
a shirt
for-"
with dollar signs on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, he's like,
And
this is a-
Varner the third, that's the same thing he said. He goes, it was a dumb decision for me not to go over there.
I mean, so then it all comes down to this. Like, I think my main contention with Liv is they're doing it for the money, and I think we've seen that have real life repercussions on the PGA. They have the 12 Elevate events with bigger guaranteed
And
money.
part of that was to your point that they didn't have the star power in some of those other events.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so they're appealing to you personally, Pete Hansen.
I know Jay calls me all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hotline.
Yeah.
I
Really?
just want you to know
Oh,
that that's what the PGA
interesting.
Tour is doing for you.
Yeah.
If
care.
I think if Liv wants to be viable, they got to put on a better product. The product they're
Right.
delivering right now is just
Yeah.
not. I don't think it's on par with the PGA, and I'm not asking them to be the PGA, but like
And they don't need to be.
it's not
No.
watchable.
right.
It's
Right.
got to be a different game because if you give a player $100 million to show up, playing to win 4 looks a lot different
Yeah.
than if you have $4 million and you're playing to win 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that,
Or
like there's
you
going to be
could
a lot of
potentially get
golfers.
none.
There's going to be a lot of golfers in Liv that just go, "Well, I'm really rich right now.
Right.
I just need to maintain this.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
it's
Turn
the-
it into that 4-man scramble.
That would be great.
And
DJ
see
DJ
which
turns up
team-
as a 6 handicap after 5 years.
And set a bonus out there. The first team to shoot a 40 as a foursome gets like $100 million bonus.
5 mulligans.
You guys want to go? Let's go. I mean, I guess we got a petition to get them to change the rules, but
Yeah.
I do think to I mean, we're joking about it, but I do think Live did kind of make it more relatable in some degree of like an event like that we could go play out at Sycamore Ridge or we could go play in Kansas City. It is a shorter. We're not playing 72-hole events. We're not.
No.
We don't have time for that. We have jobs and we have a thriving podcast. Thriving. But I think. To me, that is kind of interesting, and I think that's why it did see some successes. It does showcase the fact that it doesn't have to be about winning. It does have to be a little bit about money, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have, you want to win a tournament, the club championship at everything, but sometimes it's more about going and having fun.
Yeah.
And it's
The
really nice.
fellowship.
But it's really nice that Liv's pairing that with being able to make a really good living off of that too.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of blends those, to me, in my opinion, of it showcases and could bring more people into the game if more people who understand that they're a high handicapper, they can still go and compete in these events
Absolutely.
at their local clubs. And I think that opens up that discussion or showcases that is you don't have to be a top 100 player in the world to compete on a tour anymore. So I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
We keep going back to Live, and we're on to Phil Mickelson.
Right.
That's fine.
Well, I think if they blow up their system a little bit, make it more relatable, and you're not getting world golf rating points anyhow.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah. Who
why
cares?
not do something? Maybe even take it a step further. It's a 4-man scramble, and then they find somebody local that belongs to the golf club, and they replace one of their 4 with that person for the day.
I tell you,
they just think outside the box.
they have
and
an
go for it.
opportunity to mic the players and not worry about what they say.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I was,
Yeah.
JT drops the wrong word when he's doing something and he gets lambasted, but like put it out there. Just let them be golfers.
Yeah.
We all do dumb stuff on the golf course.
Right.
Watch the pros do dumb stuff on.
Yeah.
That's entertaining. Like the joke always was, wouldn't it be great if Faraday watched the 4 of us and commentated on our round?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would watch 4 buffoons out on the course do that. Let me watch 4 pros go do that.
If you haven't like John, I don't know if you've watched this, but No Laying Up just did their film room, and they paired.
The Cabalua one.
Yes,
I
did
haven't
you
watched
watch
it
it?
yet.
It's fantastic. And it, to what Dave and John are just talking about is bring in the buffoons and stuff like that. Well, it's
It's Sully and Neil.
Sully and Neil, and Sully's paired with Justin Thomas, and Neil is paired with Jordan Spieth.
Okay.
And it's an alternate shot.
Well,
And so I think on the second hole, Neil blasts one out of bounds, and then
Not surprising.
exactly. And so, but it was really good, and you got to hear them talking about. It kind of gave you an understanding of first off, what I walked away after watching it was the friendship that Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth have. It's like us going out and just playing, giving each other crap and saying things, and it humbled me in terms of like my thoughts of what a professional golfer acted like all the time, and it was more like us.
Yeah, there's still people on the golf course
Yeah,
playing golf. They're just playing it at a different level, but all the other things.
And that's what's so appealing about the match.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
you watch,
Yes.
you watch the match, and you saw
the same thing.
You saw Tiger and all those guys messing with the keys on the cart. It's like,
100%.
who hasn't
Yeah.
done that?
Or,
And that's why I
unbuckled the clubs from the back.
Yeah.
Drove off.
there's clearly a demand for that because the match has had success. I think when Mahomes was doing it last year with Josh Allen and then Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, that was interesting. And then now that they did it again this year with some different players, I think clearly people are enjoying digesting golf in a different format.
Well, it's interesting. So we've sat here and we just talked about, hey, Liv has this opportunity to it. I mean, but honestly, the PGA Tour does as well.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's not limited.
And we know the PGA Tour does not have the money to compete right now. So, all right, Jay, start looking like.
Guys, how much money you got?
Yeah, we will gladly consult for a fee.
$24.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
the PGA Tour or
Exactly.
Live.
We'll send out our fee structure.
Yeah.
We can be on-course reporters.
Right.
I mean, it'd be really kind of cool if the tours could figure it out and do a you pick your best 4 folks and you do a 4-man scramble, one Live, one PGA Tour.
Yeah.
and that's what you do on like a Tuesday night.
I think eventually we will get to that,
Yeah.
but I think there's too much. They're banging with the heads right now, but I think that is a really good point of like. I think people would digest that. I think people would want to see that stack the tours against each other.
Are you talking like an old AFL, NFL merger?
Yeah.
Like old
well,
school
actually,
Super
I was
Bowl.
thinking.
Right,
Yeah, I was thinking more of the XFL. I'm surprised it didn't.
Bad
XFL
example because they
versus the
didn't.
NFL.
I know. Yeah, they
they've
folded.
They
but-
folded several times.
Well, wasn't it coming back?
Yeah, the XFL's still alive.
They're back, but
Yeah.
but they have gone through bankruptcy.
Dwayne
and-
Johnson owns
who's
them.
funding? Okay,
Yeah.
And are they on
Who's
TV?
funding them?
I've never seen it.
So they've
it's
taken
in
a
April.
Oh, it's
hiatus.
on YouTube? No.
No, they were on TV.
No,
Yeah.
but it starts in April, right? Like it's over the summer months.
USFL starts in April.
It's the USFL. That's right.
Ah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And they also went bankrupt and have come back.
right.
Wow. Everyone, you know what? I want to jump on that bandwagon. I'm going for bankruptcy. Just,
Well,
We're at an age now. It's either bankruptcy or divorce. Pick one or the other.
that's your midlife crisis,
Yeah.
along with whatever car
Hey, I
you
did
want to
hit.
buy.
Hey, 2022, I did hit 40. So
Oh, that's right.
I
there.
have
Nice.
that
Welcome to
happening
the
for
club.
me. I know,
Warranty
yeah.
is off.
That's hilarious. I forgot I turned 40. Let's go back to PGA Tour. Specifically, let's talk about Rory McIlroy. Amazing
great
year
year.
for fantastic year
Awesome
for
year.
him. Just some quick highlights: 22 starts, won three times, 12 top fives, 15 top tens. He won the FedEx Cup. He won the DP World title in the points, the Harry Vardon Trophy, and then he also took the #1 spot in the official world
Did
rankings.
he win a major?
He did not.
Didn't win a major.
Didn't want.
Not
He
surprising.
didn't like those.
No, I think it was talked about that he would win a major,
How
but
many
he
does
didn't.
he have?
Six.
I got
I
it.
don't know.
Yeah, I think it's 6, but don't.
But
quote me on
yeah,
that.
like
Do you think he wins the Masters this year?
no.
no,
No.
I think that's gonna
No.
be. It's gonna be a dream.
That was a really
4.
fast no.
Yeah,
He has
I don't
4.
think he's gonna win it.
His 4.
He has
Okay,
4.
my apologies, because he's
Yeah,
won the
which
U.S.
ones?
Open,
Well, he won the Open and then he won PGA at
Congressional, or he
No,
won the
no,
U.S.
he
He
won-
won Kiowa,
Kiowa, where he just destroyed that golf course.
destroyed it, and then he won at Congressional U.S. Open.
Yep.
I don't know where he won his Open.
He's won the U.S. Open in 2011. He won the PGA Championship in 2012. He won the Open in 2014, and he won the PGA Championship in 2014.
Okay,
Valhalla was the PGA Championship in
14.
and then let's see, the Open Championship in 2014 was Royal Liverpool. PGA Championship,
Kiowa,
Yep, Kiowa.
and then
Thank you.
Congressional.
Congressional.
Yeah, that
I
Kiowa-
remember
the
the
Kiowa-
congressional one,
Yeah.
like really him coming down the.
Yeah, he still had
18th,
his flowing locks.
Yes.
and like he destroyed everybody. And he beat people by like 11. It
Boot
was-
cut golf pants were
Yeah.
still a thing. They
Yeah.
flared out at the bottom.
Yeah, I think there's still
Boot
some in
cut.
your closet.
No, Pete. I have moved on. Yeah, I only wear Costco brand pants. So there you
So
go.
with Rory, had a great year, no majors. Okay,
Right.
when was his last win before 2022? Because I think he had a drought of like 18 months.
Last win. Sorry. CJ Cup 2021.
Okay,
Yep.
He's
Yeah. So Dave,
October.
back to the Masters. It's clearly not a physical thing. Like he can dominate that golf course, but I just don't think, like mentally, he'll ever get past what happened on the back nine
on 10
Yeah,
when he pulled it
So you
left.
think,
Hit the
he's going to
cabins.
become his arch rival, Greg
is.
Norman, in that regard?
yeah.
I don't think
And
so.
I hope
I
it's
think
not
he's
that
better
bad.
than that. I
hope-
think he's better.
I really hope he does win it, but I think that
Yeah.
it's
I think
really.
he will. I think he'll
it's-
win one eventually.
You think it's this
year or
Eventually, I
next.
just don't
Either
think
this
it's
year or
this year.
next.
All right, let's
Okay.
hope. I mean, I'm a Rory fan.
I
Best
like-
golf
yeah.
swing in the game.
I'm not going to bet head covers, iron covers on it, but I feel like
Ooh,
maybe
I
he's
mean-
got a chance within the next year or two to
mean,
finally
Wait,
pull
we
it
do
off.
have an
covers
info.
are.
They're in play, and
They're
you don't
in
even know
play.
about the bet. Pete doesn't know about the bet, so it's the
Yeah.
person
I own the head covers.
I know you
How
do.
do I
You
not
have
know
an
about that?
opportunity to lose them.
highest gross score of the forward yellow tees round has to have the club head covers.
Yeah.
Gross score. Not
So Dave's thrown out. You haven't watched the whole video yet, but Dave threw out a 39. If you haven't watched the video yet, and you are
This
a
is
listener
not
to
in my
go
favor.
to,
If
Yeah,
we just
yes,
strictly
yes.
we
look-
talked about
Yes,
this.
it is. 'Cause you can putt.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
At the Red X. Do you know where the Red X is?
It's in the back of my car.
Okay,
Listen,
good. All right.
It's because you hit the straightest drives
Yes.
out of the
You
four
are
of
going
us.
to be just
You are going to
fine.
dominate that challenge.
We all
We
see
are
my
not-
short game, right?
So
Same
I'm
study.
matter.
I'm a +3 from the yellows. You're a what? A +2?
something.
But this is
You were a
gross.
+2?
You said
I'm
gross.
whatever
I know
you
it
are.
is, but you were probably you're going to be like a 2 or a 3.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Don't let that
need-
doubt in your head.
Yeah.
Don't be Rory McIlroy at the Masters over
All right.
this.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Okay. Okay.
Don't let this be your number 10. Yeah.
Watch the
You're
video.
not gonna snipe
I'll
it
watch
into
the
the
video.
cabins.
Yeah, that video of us, John and I reacting, is coming out soon. It should be published by the time this is published. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's
a lot
great.
of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Do it.
Do it.
It's a lot of
Bacardi
fun.
Cola. So Rory had a great year.
Yeah.
Next thing, let's move into the inaugural U.S. Adaptive Open was held for the first time this year. I think they spent a ton of money. Is that what you guys are saying, getting this going? Or was that Live that we were talking about? I don't remember. There's money's been thrown out everywhere.
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, it was the first year that it was, the inaugural event for it. Personally, I watched some of it on TV, but I didn't watch all of it. I look back at it and just thinking, like, what a great step forward to grow the game of
Yeah.
golf, to understand, to showcase that anyone can play the game. And I think that's the thing that we try to do on this podcast, to showcase that anyone can get into the game. Yes, there are hurdles of how you can get into the game. There is some financial commitment to it, but anyone can. There's also ways to not have a financial commitment, borrow, rent clubs, whatnot. But did you guys watch the event or anything?
I mean, when was it? It was
right after the U.S. Open.
Yeah,
It
I was
was
gonna
literally
say.
like the week after it.
around that time. I remember watching a lot about it, but after that, I haven't. And I'd really be interested to know like how they break the categories up. I mean,
Yeah.
because there are people that have different challenges.
Different disabilities.
I don't know who did an episode where it was an individual that was visually impaired and he played with his father.
Oh, yeah.
And like he's like a +2.
I think you're talking about Eric Angers Lang.
I believe it was
yeah.
a scratch, one of the scratch golf.
Yep. Scratch.
Okay.
Adventures in Golf.
Adventures of
Yeah.
Golf. And like it was really interesting
Yeah.
to see how him and his dad kind of come together and work as a team to do it. But I know there's others that need a motorized cart where the carts will flip around. They can swing. I think Wounded Warriors has done a lot with that
Yeah.
to get, veterans just out of the house and doing something and feeling, like they did pre-injury.
Yeah.
So
I think everything. I think
Should
it
dig
was
into this a
one
little bit
class.
more.
I don't think it was like different classes.
Okay.
I think it was. I think it was all one. So I don't
come
think
as you are and and play
I think
your
it
best.
was. Yeah. Much like to the like Special Olympics.
it almost have to be like,
Yes.
Right.
because not everybody's going to have those challenges. So
Right.
just, hey,
Right.
we're all different. We're all here. Just let's go.
Yeah.
And I think that's the right approach.
Yeah.
I think so,
100%.
too. Uh-huh.
Well, and not to scoot us along too fast, I want that it's that due. That's
think it's
I'm
awesome.
excited for it to come back.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
the first year.
That's great.
Where is it this year?
Give me a second. Well, as I do that, I'll look it up. But as we
Okay.
do that, let's talk about Netflix has been filming on the PGA Tour all year. So as I look that up, you guys, let's start talking about that because what a year!
Yeah, they
It's
nailed
almost
it.
like they knew
Yeah.
it was going to happen. It's almost like the Dave mentioned a long time ago about like was the Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka scripted to get them into the match. It's almost like someone knew that this was happening and be like, hey, you know what? We should get on tour and start filming because this documentary is coming. I don't know the release date of it, but I know it's coming. So I'll let you guys talk about that while I look up what Pete asked me.
So it's like the full on behind the scenes everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Traveling
Monty.
with them and
that's going to be awesome to watch.
Well, we just talked about how people want more of the inside. Who
Yeah.
are these people in real
It's
life?
I watch a ton of golf YouTube, and some of it's the players.
Yeah.
And they said it's for a lot of them, it's the loneliest job. They're like, there's a lot of alone time.
Oh, yeah.
there. And I think we watch it. We're like, oh, look at all this. They're hitting shot in front of 45,000 people. They won the $2 million or something like that.
Those
But
for
I
the
always-
winners.
I
There's
always love-
144
true.
people out
True,
there.
but I always love the nuts and bolts of how those things come together. Like what's it like to spend a week on tour, to be a player on tour?
The U.S. Adaptive Open will be at Pinehurst number 6.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
July 17th through the 19th, 2023.
So it's a month after the U.S. Open.
Yep.
Okay.
We know a guy that's going to live at Pinehurst at that time. That might be kind of
Yeah.
fun to go
Wait,
see.
what? Who?
The
Hammer.
Jinx.
Whoa. Who has a Coke?
Yeah.
It's an old boss of ours.
Yeah. Old golf friend.
Yeah. Great guy.
So back to
Netflix.
I'm excited. One, because it is behind the scenes. Like, you look at the content being created by most NFL teams, they have their own YouTube channel. They're doing either, like, you know, the Chiefs do the franchise that comes out every other week. Those are fun to watch.
Last Chance U on Netflix. I mean, that's we watch, Dre and I watch all of those seasons all the time.
Anything that they can do to kind of give a glimpse in there. But I agree, John, like, it has to be lonely. And think if you're that guy that has your tour card, but you are just grinding and missing cut and missing cut, and you're like, damn, I can't even get on the full swing. This
Well, and Eric, back to either Scratch Golf or he has his other random golf club. Scratch Golf does episodes where they do follow the kids that are trying to get onto the tour. They're pretty good. Like, I mean, it talks about the grind. They're living in their cars and
or they all
I forget what
house together if they make the tournament.
I forget what that series is called on his YouTube channel, but it's pretty good. So,
yeah, I did watch that when there was no golf around.
Yeah,
they really hit it hard because when they canceled the tours due to COVID, and you know they were just trying to get any golf in. Like, they were going down to playing on the Latin American tour or over on the on the Asia tour. Yeah, so it was good.
Yeah.
But I would be really interested to see how that goes. And to have it during the year with so many high-profile players leaving,
I'm sure it will be, but I hope it's not all Live versus PGA Tour. I hope it's more about, like, the players and what it's like on
you guys.
99% of it is probably going to be that. I hope not, though.
So it's called Breakpoint Season 1 is what I'm fine. Well, actually, I should probably look more into this, but what I'm seeing is it's 2-part. It should be released here in January shortly.
Nice.
Wow. I'm excited.
I'll get all the popcorn made, and we can.
Like I'm
we should do a watch party.
Definitely
Stream it. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Well, what that being said, so big year in review of Live Golf. Phil Mickelson, Rory, inaugural U.S. Adaptive Open. Netflix is coming out with their thing, and then lastly, what are you all looking forward to in 2023 for professional golf? The professional side of it, whatever.
Sahith.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he has
his
a huge
dominance.
year.
Or his dominance. Yeah.
He's just a fun dude to watch golf.
Yeah.
He just goes out there and hits it.
Yep. Thank God.
I
love golfers like that.
So do you love watching me play? Because that's what I do.
Yes.
Thank you.
Unequivocally, yes.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know. From a professional standpoint, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rory winning the Masters.
really good final rounds at majors, probably.
Yeah.
Or big tournaments, the players. That'll make me tune in.
Nice.
Yeah.
JJ?
Just the dust to settle.
The dust to settle.
Just let the dust settle and then back
Change is hard for John.
I get back to it. Well, I mean, like, it's good. I think it's good. In the end, I think that the tour, and I think I've said this before, the tour was doing very good repetitive actions.
Yeah, product.
To introduce some turbulence there made them go, well, what do we need to change?
Competition is always good.
Always a good thing.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
I think that it'll be the result will better the PGA Tour, and the result will probably make Live more digestible.
Yeah.
So I think that it will. Hopefully, there's two good things to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the dust will settle, and it'll be better than it was.
Yeah. I think
So,
for me,
I want new blood too.
Yeah.
Like, I love Phil. Don't get me wrong. I love watching Phil play golf, but I'd love to watch a new 23-year-old kid come in and just kill it.
I think that's going to happen. I think with any the adoption of all these new ideas and tours and Live Golf being out there, that's going to happen. For me, what I'm excited the most about is there was an article that recently came out about the ESPN Plus and PGA Tour relationship and how strong that was, and then to the Live Golf thing of the dominance that the ESPN Plus had on the PGA Tour of just the viewership that tuned in to all those things. To me personally, I loved it. I had it on in the background all the time of just when I was working through the day. And I think they're probably going to have learned so much from the data that was digested this year that they're only going to improve that product. At least I hope so.
Yeah.
And even
what are you doing? Like somebody over there needs to go do something else.
And even like the Century this week being in Hawaii at Maui and Kapalua, that's pretty cool to have that up. Like we were watching we had the Chiefs game on and the KU basketball game and the K-State basketball game, and then we had the Century Tour Tournament of Champions on.
Take like 5 Adderalls to watch all that.
No, it was amazing.
Good
So
Lord.
if you don't have the ESPN app, plus you have to have Apple products. But if you have Apple TV, you can put the ESPN app. You can create a split screen of 4 screens on your. And so we put it on our projector downstairs, and we just watch all 4 of them. It's freaking amazing. So I'm just excited to digest more content like that. So.
You want to watch 12 things at once.
If possible, John.
All
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Only
exactly.
Billy Daniels.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm never going to give you my login to ESPN Plus.
I don't expect it. At this point,
I don't
you've
think John-
completely given up hope.
John probably would come to find there's other sports he never knew existed. He's
Right.
like, what's this thing with this bat and this ball?
Yeah.
Is there curling on ESPN Plus?
Oh, yeah. There's
Okay,
everything.
then I'm in.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what a year it's been. 2022, goodbye. Welcome 2023. Tree. That being said, thanks for tuning in and listening. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, grippinggolfpodcast.com or grippinggolf.com for all of our episodes. Be sure to like us, subscribe us. That helps us out a ton. We want to grow.
It does.
It also makes Pete's son feel
Sam.
fantastic. Sam, and when he
He
sees
keeps
these
me.
videos,
He gives me the weekly numbers. Hey, you got
he's our
you
statistician.
have 268 subscribers now.
No,
Dad.
we have 293.
Well,
Yeah.
it's been a couple.
Okay.
They were out of school. You know. He was
Oh, well, you know what? If he wants to have his quarter.
Yeah.
But thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening.